What's up, Big 12 Nation? It is Tuesday night in America. That can mean only one thing. It's time for another edition of your favorite YouTube Big 12 college football centric show. That's right. It's the one, it's the only. It is the biggest 12 with me, your host, Clint Foster. Wherever you are, thanks so much for making us a part of your Tuesday night. We are back after a week off, a slight bit browner, and we're going to be talking Kansas football, our last preview of the summer. You've been waiting for this one, right? They've been all alphabetical order except for this one, but bird is the word. Tonight we are talking all things Kansas Jayhawks, and I got a great lineup of folks who are going to help me do it. But before we get to any of that, I need something from you. I need you to subscribe to the show, man, at Big 12 Voice of College Football. There it is, running down there across the screen. And of course, if you're watching on YouTube, yeah, there it is. It's right there. Just hit the subscribe button. It's so easy. Do it. Hit the like button. Do all the things. Tell your friends and family. Tell your neighbors. Tell your enemies. Tell everyone. Let's make this an international movement. We're trying to hit 1,000 subscribers, and I need your help to do that. So come on, help me out. Help a brother out. Also, while you're doing that sort of stuff, follow me at Clint Foster Creations on YouTube. I'm working on another Big 12 theme sketch. You know, I gave you your Pac-12 sketch. What was that, like 2 weeks ago? Working on another one for you. While I'm also getting geared up for the school year. So, and you'll also see my my award-winning documentary feature when I drop it on that channel. And also follow me on Twitter at Clint_Foster55. And also follow the Voice of College Football on all of your social media accounts at VOCFB. Very easy to find. And hey, holy crap, don't forget to check out our new website. Oh my God, there it is right there. Look at that website. It's amazing. It's got everything you could possibly need to get you through the off season. All of these articles, all this discussion, every day's show schedule. Look, there we are right there. 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. Just talking about Eastern time. I'm on God's time zone. But there we are. You're never going to miss a thing. You got to make this part of your daily routine. Checking out the Voice of College Football, VOCFB.com. And also find the Biggest 12. That's my show. Wherever you get your podcasts, we're there. Subscribe. Make us a part of your daily life. Yeah, that's all of the stuff for now. So, without further ado, let me welcome in my guest. Number one, you know him, you love him. He's here as often as he can be. It's Brownie, ladies and gentlemen, and our Kansas friend of the show. He's back to talk all things Jayhawks. He is a newly minted graduate of Kansas University, ladies and gentlemen, Austin Eckert. Boys, how are y'all doing? Welcome to the show.
Doing great.
Trying to stay cool in the heat of the summer.
Yep. Oh, yeah, man. Down here in Texas, we just started hitting triple digits. It took a long time to come this year, but they are here now. And, yeah, you can feel it. You can tell.
I mowed my yard last night in preparation of potentially dealing with this today. And when I say I was literally soaked coming in, like it literally felt like I took a shower outside.
Man, I'm so glad to hear that. That's a really. I'm gonna hold on to that story, Brownie. Just thinking about you.
The humidity was
walking
insane.
in soaked.
Walking in soaked, man.
So, Austin, I think you said you're in Kansas City now, or is it bearable in Kansas City, or is it super hot up there?
Yeah, it's pretty hot. It's like 95 degrees when it feels like 110. So you just gotta love the Midwest humidity.
Yeah, well,
Sure does.
we're talking about heat. This might be a freezing cold take, but we got a shot across the bow to start off the show. Pretty accurate. Calling a 6-6 season for the Kansas Jayhawks. I want to give you, Austin, a really quick opportunity to respond to that before we get into our first item of the day.
I think some Kansas fans would be happy with a 6-6 season, especially after what happened last year. So, hey, as long as KU makes a bowl game, doesn't really matter what their end record ends up being.
Fair enough. All right, well, we'll talk all things Kansas here in just a bit. But first, I would be remiss if we didn't talk about the breaking news. We don't often get breaking news that's worth really discussing on off-season shows. But we got to talk about Deion Sanders, okay? The breaking news being that he has now had his bladder removed. He had a cancer diagnosis, and they removed the cancerous tumor, the malignant tumor, from his bladder. So first of all, that is great news. So prayers up for Dion, and we're very happy to know that he is healthy. I mean, Dion gets a lot of flack, and I certainly make fun of him sometimes on the show, but he seems like a very genuine good dude, in my opinion. It's kind of weird to talk about long-term career implications of a cancer diagnosis. Maybe this is not good news for him in Colorado in the long term, but he appears to be ready to coach this season. Word is they're going to have a portable toilet on the sidelines at Colorado games, situation being what it is. But gentlemen, your thoughts on this, all this Dion news?
It literally took us like what, 2 hours to get this information out, and the dude already has like a sponsorship with like the adult diaper Depends brand.
And
Like,
why not?
well,
It's
I just
Dion.
thought it was hilarious because I was like, oh yeah, we got Dion news, and all of a sudden I'm like, why is like the story that I saw was Deion Sanders sponsored by Depends. And I was
Yeah.
like, that is a really weird sponsorship. And then the next thing on my feed was Deion Sanders recovering from bladder cancer. And I was like, okay, makes more sense now. I was like, but how did you have that happen within like 2 hours of each other?
Yeah.
So I'm glad that he was able to beat cancer. I don't know how it's going to really affect him per se. I mean, it's not like Bill Self where the dude has to have like quadruple, quintuplet bypass surgery. Like a heart attack in heart recovery seems far more complex and complicated, especially when like you have that adrenaline going through,
Yeah. And
the thing
common
keeping
for
you
coaches.
alive.
Yeah.
Where Dion is just going to be like, "Oh, I have to pee," and just it happens.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay. I mean, worst case scenario is he has to depends on a 4th and goal to win the game.
You're pretty dependable, I will tell you that from my grandpa's experience. Austin, any thoughts on the cancer diagnosis? Dion beating cancer?
No, it's amazing that he beat cancer, and I'm glad to hear that news. I think a lot of people thought that, oh my God, like this is it, like he's gonna come out and announce that he's no longer coaching football, all that. But I'm glad to see that it wasn't the case, and it ended up being the complete opposite.
Yeah, there was so much speculation, I feel like, for the last several months of, now that Shadur and the other one, I can't remember his name. Who cares?
Travis Hunter,
Shiloh.
Well, okay,
Shiloh.
Yeah,
Shiloh.
that's like before. Now that his 2 sons are gone, right?
Yeah.
That he may not be interested in staying in Colorado long term, right? And he had missed a couple of appearances, and there was a lot of speculation, right? Oh, is this the end? But we got a lot of questions answered with this.
I was
cancer
gonna
news.
say there was because like I looked up Deion Sanders just to see like what was trending with Dion, and I kid you not, there was 6 different things that all came out today that Dion had. Right, so it was the cancer, like the successful cancer, how he almost died from the treatment, how Karuche Tron was on like next to him during the entire thing. And then he was giving shit to the Cleveland Browns about the Shadur Sanders situation. And I'm like, dude, are you actually okay? Or are you just going like full blown scorched earth? Like, what are we doing here, Dion?
Yeah.
Like, come on, man.
And shout out Comf E Rambles. Yes, Tampa Bay Bucks superstar Shiloh Standards. How could I forget? How could I forget? Okay, so moving right along, let's talk about what we're here for. We're going to talk about Kansas Jayhawks today. We got Austin in the building just for that purpose. And Austin, we've you know how we do things here on the Biggest 12. We like to play games, all right? In the most serious way, we like to play games. And the theme of this off season of all these preview shows has been trivia. So I have prepared some Kansas trivia for you, Austin. 10 questions, some of them football related, some of them just Kansas State, not university, but Kansas the state related, history related. Are you feeling confident in your Kansas trivia knowledge?
Hopeful that I can get more than half of them right, but I'm confident.
Well, I will say that that's average. Okay, average is more than
Record
half.
holder right here, baby.
Yes, Brownie is still the record holder. I'm getting there. Most people hover around 6, 7. Okay, out of 10. Brownie, though, Iowa State is the only one to have gone 10 for 10. All right, so that's the bar to clear. If you want to have a little
right.
Midwestern
It was not
rivalry,
just me. I had
whatever.
help.
You did have help. Usually I have 2 people from each team. Kansas fans, do they exist? Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe Brittany will come later on. Maybe someone else will come later on. But for now, it's just Austin. Okay, so Austin, question number 1. It's not often that we get to talk about Kansas being undefeated in football, but there are 3 current Big 12 teams that Kansas has never lost to. Kansas has played every single one of the 15 Big 12 opponents. Who are the 3 that Kansas has never lost to?
3 that Kansas never lost to in the Big 12.
In the current Big 12, yes.
In the current
Just
Big
in the
12.
current, though.
Yeah.
I've never lost to.
Have you guys lost to? It has to be some of the new teams, right?
BYU is one of them.
BYU is one, yes.
Okay, BYU. Houston.
Houston is the
I
other
know
one,
Houston's
yes.
number 2. Okay.
Yes.
You get it?
3-0 against BYU, 5-0 against Houston. You got one more.
It's not UCF, right?
I don't know. You tell me.
Is it? Okay, I'm gonna say UCF.
Yes, UCF is correct. Yes.
All right. Good.
There you go. There you go. Yes.
All right.
1-0.
Did you guys lose to
against
Cincinnati? Or have you just not played Cincinnati yet?
I think we might have lost to Cincinnati
They
like
have.
a long time ago.
2-1 all time against Cincinnati.
Oh, okay.
But otherwise, the non-Pac-12 new 4, the G4 new 4, all of them have yet to beat Kansas. Okay, so
That's impressive.
this
Very
one,
impressive.
this one was an interesting one to me. Like, I feel like if I was coming in blind, I'd be like, ooh, I feel like this could be one of 2 answers. But what team has Kansas played the most? Longest running. So not longest running by date, but longest running as far as most games played.
Is this out of every college or just
out of everybody? Out of everybody.
I want to say Kansas State.
I feel like
Kansas State is correct. Yes.
All right.
So
Boom.
Missouri.
I was gonna say almost Missouri.
Running. Yeah.
I almost said Missouri too, but I was like, Kansas State, because we played Kansas. That was like our first home game ever at our football stadium. It was against K-State. So I was like, this has got to be them.
Yeah. Well, and also whenever Missouri ran off to the SEC, that also screwed with
Chuck
all
wagons.
of that. All of
we don't talk about Mizzou here. They still owe us a telephone.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. All my homies hate Mizzou. And I also found it pretty fascinating. I'm going to throw this little tidbit out there too, that Kansas does, despite losing 16 straight, Kansas does still own the all-time series lead, 65, 52, and 5. So that's
football didn't exist in 1940.
Yeah, right.
All the time, like
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah,
but it's fun. It's funny though. They have their 16-game winning streak. That's great, but we still lead the series by double-digit games.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. But that also speaks to just how trash Kansas State was for so much of human history.
If you really think about it, if it wasn't for Bill Snyder, they would probably still be the bottom dwellers of the Big 12.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, definitely.
Name
or
a
they
winning
would have just
season
given up
without
on
him.
football. Would have just given up on football, probably.
Oh, probably.
All right, 2-0 start. You're off to a great start here. Now, hey, recent college grad. I have high hopes for you to know this one. There is a landmark Supreme Court case that came out of Topeka, Kansas. Brown versus Board of Education. All right.
Mm-hmm.
What did Brown versus Board of Education rule? Unanimously, by the way.
Like what came out of it?
Yeah, what was the ruling in Brown versus Board of Education?
It had to do with is it like desegregation of schools and things like that?
Yes, desegregation. Absolutely. Very good, Austin.
Right.
Very nice.
All right. All right. So I've learned a little bit from college, and I hadn't lost my mind yet.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. This is that separate but equal is a fallacy. When things are separate, they are inherently not equal, right? You need to integrate the schools, right? Okay. Very good.
Yep.
Kansas seems to very frequently be at the forefront of this sort of thing. All right. At the outset of the Civil War, speaking of, Anti-slavery forces from Kansas raided 6 Missouri towns, prompting the burning of Lawrence. What did these Kansas forces call themselves? This is a layup, Austin.
Oh, the Jayhawkers.
Jayhawkers, yes, that is where your name.
I thought you were
comes
about
from.
to ask me which 6 different towns that they burned down. I was like, I don't even know.
No, I wouldn't have done that to you. Because they're little nothing towns, right? Like I think most of them aren't even towns anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought about making it like who was the Missouri Confederate who burned down Lawrence, but I was like, that's not related to Kansas. We gotta have a Jayhawker question in there. All right. And by the way, other fun fact: Missouri Tigers also comes from the Civil War. I learned today because the regiment that defended Columbia called themselves the Tigers, and so then the university adopted that name. The student body like unanimously voted to call themselves the Tigers. Because all the Tigers in Missouri.
Yeah.
All right. We have
4-0
start. 4-0 start.
Austin's going to do it.
Let's see. Question number 5. Is this where he's going to stumble? What former Kansas football player is credited with inventing the blitz?
Let's see. Do I get a hint on when he played?
So he would have played in the 40s.
Oh my gosh. The blitz. The 40s? So he played defense?
Yes. Well, he played both ways. Everybody played both ways back then. So he was a linebacker,
that's right.
offensive lineman, and he ended up playing for the New York Giants after Kansas.
I mean, it's not Gale Sayers. I mean, because he played running back.
Yeah, Gale Sayers was running back. Yeah.
Yeah, I might have
Is he also from Kansas?
I believe I saw that this guy was from Missouri. Let me look.
So in other words, all good Kansas players are from Mizzou. Got it.
Let's see. Yeah, he's born in Independence, Missouri in 1921.
I don't know this one.
This is also.
I'm gonna have to take the L.
This is also, by the way, the Jayhawk used to walk around in the jersey number 74, right?
Yeah.
This is his jersey number.
Oh. I don't know this one.
He also played in the CFL actually for a while. All right, so you're gonna take the L on this one?
Yep, I think so.
It is Don Red Dog Ettinger.
Don Ettinger. I've heard that name before.
Don Ettinger.
Yeah.
Nobody likes blitzes anyways.
Well, except for Andy Avalos. All right.
Yeah.
Question number 6. The Weird Al Yankovic song, The Biggest Ball of Twine in Minnesota, refers to the largest ball of twine built by a single person, which is in Darwin, Minnesota. The actual largest ball of twine that was built by a community is in what Kansas City? The world's biggest ball of twine.
World's biggest ball of twine.
This is one of those road trip stops,
Doesn't it start with a C? Please tell me it starts with a C.
It does start with a C. I'll give you that. Yes.
Cocker City. It's Cocker City then.
It's Cocker City. Yes.
It's Cocker City, Kansas.
Cocker City.
Don't ask how I remember that.
Have you seen The Biggest Ball of Twine, Brownie?
I have not, but it's one of those really, really goofy things. I don't think I've
ever heard about this.
Well, Austin, Brownie bailed you out there. I'll let you have the 5.
Yeah, he did, because I wouldn't have gotten that. I mean,
it's Cocker City, Kansas. I was
Cocker City, Kansas.
Wow. If it started with a C, I knew what it was. I remembered Kansas had a couple of the world's largest things, and I was like, I'm pretty sure the twine thing was in a city that started with a C. Yes, Cocker City. I think it's also in northern Kansas, if I remember right,
Probably.
Northeastern Kansas.
I would assume it's on Route 66, but that may be completely wrong. I don't know exactly where Cocker City is. I'm
gonna have to look it up.
I don't know either.
That's where the Big Ball of Twine is. Okay, question number 7. While Brownie's looking up the twine ball.
Highway 24.
Okay, there you go. What Kansas legend is one of the main characters in the film Brian's Song, played by Billy D. Williams of Star Wars fame? Billy D. Williams, of course, Lando Calrissian in Star Wars. Played what Kansas legend in the movie Brian's Song?
What Kansas legend?
Kansas football legend, I should clarify.
I don't even know this. Like, at all.
You aren't familiar with Brian's Song?
I am not.
I'm not either.
James Caan, Billy D. Williams.
What's
Some
it
of my
about?
oldies in the comments.
I don't know this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know this one yet.
Never heard of that.
Brian's Song, I'll give you one more clue. Brian's Song is about two guys who played for the Bears and their friendship. One of them gets cancer. I believe it was cancer.
So, more R-rated version of Remember the Titans?
Kind of.
See, I told you it was unoriginal then.
I mean, there's definitely, it's an interracial friendship thing.
Okay. I still don't have a freaking clue. And I'm not very familiar with 70s actors.
No, I'm not either.
Well, it's a 70s actor portraying somebody older. Okay, I mean, Austin, you're going to kick yourself when I say the answer. Are you giving in?
Okay, I'm just gonna say it. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Gale Sayers.
It is Gale Sayers. Yes.
I knew it.
Oh my god.
Yes.
I knew it. I was thinking about it. You said Bears.
Yes.
I was like, it can't be Gale Sayers. There's no way it's Gale Sayers.
Two Gale Sayers.
I'm just gonna say Gale Sayers. If I get it right, perfect. All right.
Yes. It's about Gale Sayers and Brian Piccolo.
Gotcha.
And yeah, Billy D. Williams plays Gale Sayers.
Yeah,
Here we go.
Once you said I'm gonna kick myself for not getting it, I was like, oh my god, that's the answer.
I wanted you to get it. Here we go. Brian's Song. There's James Caan. There's Billy D. Williams. A very young Billy D. Williams. Yeah, there you go. All right. So we're 6-1. Doing really great. I'm happy for you. Let's see if we can close this thing out. Let's see if you can get to 9. All right. Now, you, Austin, being a Texan, I'm still calling you a Texan, even though you don't live here anymore. I'm trusting that you're going to know this. All right. What famous and prolific cattle trail ended in Abilene, Kansas? This is a trail that went from Texas, drove cattle up into Abilene, Kansas. What was the name of the trail?
Did it just go through Texas, nowhere else?
Well, Texas and Oklahoma, or Indian territory.
Oklahoma.
Went through Indian territory.
Oh, trail that stopped in Abilene.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
started typically it starts around San Antonio, goes up through Fort Worth, up into Indian territory, ends in Abilene.
Is it the Split Trail? Is the Split Trail the one I'm thinking of, where it splits? That's not the name. Don't confuse it. But I'm pretty sure.
Well,
the one that goes from Kansas, it splits off into 2.
I mean, these trails are not like, it's not like a highway, where it's like a defined.
Yeah.
So like there may be, but I mean, no, there's not like a defined split.
Okay.
Most of the cattle trails didn't really have a defined split. It's one way, more or less.
Oh, boy,
yeah.
I might be
I knew my mom knew. My mom knows.
Yeah. So the ones that I know it's the Goodnight Loving Trail, but I think that one goes into Wyoming.
Mm-hmm, correct.
And then the Shawnee Trail is the one that goes through the Shawnee tribes through Missouri.
That was one of the first. And
then the Western Trail actually goes into western Nebraska, which is why it's called the Western Trail.
LOL at I-35.
I mean, pretty freaking close. Well, not really, but
I mean, it's pretty close.
It's kind of through Texas into the Indian territory. Yeah,
I-35 more or less traces the.
You
got a guess, Austin?
I don't got one.
The answer is the Chisholm Trail.
Son of a
gun. Chisholm Trail.
Is that the only one that I was missing? Was the Chisholm?
That's the only one you're missing, and there's
I wouldn't
literally
have gotten that one.
There's a toll road in Fort Worth now called the Chisholm Trail Parkway. There's Chisholm Trail memorials and all kinds of stuff. Chisholm Trail. All right. So we're 6-2. Okay, 2 questions left. Let's see if you can be above average.
We got
What
this.
was Kansas's first ever bowl victory?
First bowl victory. You just need the name of the bowl, right?
Preferably the name of the bowl and who they played against.
Oh, who they played against. Ooh.
Or at least the bowl in the year.
Okay. Oh, this one's tough too. I feel like these questions have gotten a little bit tougher as we've kind of gone on.
Well, it's like Hot Ones. You got to like ramp up, right? It's
At least he hasn't asked you what your
crescendo.
state motto is yet.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I know that.
I sure should. Don't know it.
You don't know? I want to say like it was
Ad
I know
astra
it's
per aspera. To the stars through difficulties.
Yeah. I want to say
Uh,
Cotton Bowl, but I don't know what year.
It's not the Cotton Bowl. It is a Texas Bowl. It is the 1961 Bluebonnet Bowl versus Rice.
Okay.
The first ever victory. Bluebonnet Bowl in Houston.
See, look at that. Another blue bonnet thing.
Yeah.
You guys really like your blue bonnets, don't you?
Well, we do. We do. Just not as the name of a rivalry that has a much better name to begin with. But, you know, people, it's like where people are obsessed with dumbing down great rivalry names, right? Well, it's the border showdown. We don't want to encourage war. Okay, last question for you. I think this is kind of a hard one, but I also thought it was interesting. Okay, what is the airport code for Wichita, Kansas?
What's the what? Repeat
the airport code for Wichita Airport.
The airport code.
It's definitely not WHT. I can tell you that right now.
No.
It's not WHT.
No.
Is it
something really stupid?
It's really dumb. I don't know how they. I mean, I guess these letters are in it, but
I mean, it's Wichita, so
it can't be WHX.
No.
Does it even? Oh my god.
That didn't make sense, but I mean.
Okay, I looked it up. That is really stupid. I cheated.
I didn't look it up. I don't know.
I was really curious. I cheated.
But you know what I mean, Austin, right? By airport code, like
I do, yeah.
Okay,
like,
yeah, okay.
Like Kansas City's like MCI, right?
Yeah,
I believe that's right. Yeah, I know Orlando is MCO, DFW's DFW.
ORD is
Chicago.
O'Hare.
Yeah.
MSP is still Minneapolis, St. Paul. Des Moines is DSM.
Yeah. Any guesses, Austin?
I don't know. I it would be WHX for me, but that's wrong. So I'm lost. Yeah.
The answer is ICT. ICT.
I don't know how you get ICT out of that.
I mean, they
are
letters in Wichita. but there you are. You know, you're average, Austin. There ain't nothing wrong with that. All right.
I'm really depressed that there was no tornado history on this thing.
I thought about it. I was like, should I do something Wizard of Oz, parlay it into a tornado question?
1966 F5 tornado hit Wichita, Kansas. I know all about that.
Yep. But there we go. So that's trivia. Let's talk about something that I know you're an expert in, Austin, Kansas football. Okay. And that 2024 season, you know, I feel like there were a lot of high hopes going in. It didn't quite meet them. What is your bird's eye view, dare I say, right? Jayhawk's eye view of how that 2024 season went? That, you know, you had the 5-game losing streak there in the middle of it. What went wrong, and what are you hoping you can correct going into 2025?
Well, first off, I think we made a mistake at hiring Jeff Grimes to be the offensive coordinator. I mean, now let me say this. I think the offense got better throughout the season, but it was clear during that 5-game stretch that what we were doing on offense, and I get it, it's Jalen's fault for throwing the interceptions and fumbling the ball and all that stuff. But at the same time, he didn't really put him in positions to go out there and make plays. And I mean, it was obvious that, you know, they had to make a change. And I don't know why we didn't hire Jim Zabrowski to be our offensive coordinator last year, because he ended up taking over the offensive coordinator duties for the Guaranteed Rate Bowl now 2 seasons ago, because Andy Kolnicki left for Penn State, and he left right before that bowl game. So he called the plays, and I think Jason Bean threw for 6 touchdowns, if I'm not mistaken, and I mean he threw for 3 interceptions, but he threw the ball like 50 times. So like, not only do you have Z now taking over at offense, which I think is going to be huge, you also bring Matt Lubick back. He went to Nevada last year to be the offensive coordinator, and he was a big part in designing all of the play calls that you might have seen throughout the 2022 and 2023 seasons with Kansas, because you saw kind of how creative they were, and like making Devin Neal line up, in shotgun, or having, being split out, whatever it might be. Matt Lubick was a big part of that. So having him back as the co-offensive coordinator and now the tight ends coach, I think is going to be huge. We've got a group of tight ends who haven't played, really a whole lot. You got 2 tight ends that are now gone, Trevor Cardell and Mason Fairchild. I mean, of course, both those guys were really good. I mean, now you've got Deshaun Hanukkah, a guy that was out last year with a torn ACL injury. So he transferred from Iowa State. He might get a lot of the snaps at tight end. I also got Leighton Cure as well. And there's so many other guys, Jaden Ham. I mean, it's a solid tight end room. And I think once they see the field, I think we'll start to see them, kind of grow. And I think they'll be good for the offense. But I mean, overall, I think, just and circling back to last year, because I'm kind of going off of a tangent here, I don't think the offense was fully in sync, during those first few games, because during last year's offseason, you had Lawrence Arnold and Quentin Skinner dealing with injuries. And Jalen, he was kind of coming back from his back injury in 2023. He didn't really go through spring a whole lot. And he of course went through summer and he went through fall camp and all that, but he didn't have his receivers really to throw to and work on all that stuff with throughout fall camp last year. And I think that's why we saw whatever it was we saw on offense. And then I think they clicked, and I think the offense started to look like themselves whenever they played Arizona State, which was the week after the TCU game, which I'm still not going to forget about that game.
Yeah.
But
I mean, you want to talk about just the ineptitude of Jeff Grimes. TCU had just lost 2 straight games where SMU and UCF absolutely ran directly down our throat, and like our faces split in half because we were so inept at running the ball, at defending the run. Devin Neal is sitting right there in y'all's backfield, and Kansas refuses to run the ball. Absolutely refuses to run the ball. You know what? We appreciate the win, but I have no idea what was going through.
And
Did Jeff
then
Grimes watch any film at all? I don't know.
and then Jeff Grimes brings out the fucking triple option against Iowa State, and we just didn't know how to handle it because we had all freshman linebackers.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my god, like you guys are Iowa State was single-handedly trying to keep Jeff Grimes and Lawrence for like another year with that performance.
So I mean, yeah, we had the 5-game losing streak, and then we turned it around against Houston, and then we almost beat Kansas State, and then I think we had a strong finish to the season. We just didn't have a great finish at Baylor. I mean, out of everybody in college football, out of all 132 FBS teams, Kansas became the first team in college football with a losing record to defeat 3 top 25 teams in a row. And if you would have told me back during the 2010s that they were going to ever do something like that, I would have been like, you're insane.
Mm-hmm.
So, and there's another stat. So, under Leipold, we've had 5 ranked wins out of 10 games. So we're 5-5 when it comes to playing against ranked teams, which I thought was amazing. And then from I think 2010 to 2021, we had 0 ranked wins.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like a lot of people out there are still treating Kansas like they're just, oh, it's just Kansas. They're not going to win anything. Oh, they're not going to do anything. Well, I mean, you really need to take a look at what Leipold's done, because he's brought Kansas football out, from the dead. I know they went 5-7 last year, but I think we're going to have a great year ahead of us as long as we get the offense under control, and as long as Z and Jalen are on the same page. It's going to be a lot different compared to what we had to go through last year.
I mean, to be fair, most of the people weren't alive when Kansas had that really good season with Aqib Talib and that defense. Because what
You
was
saying
that? Oh
people weren't
seven, oh
alive
eight.
for Mark Mangino? Is that right? Were people not alive for that? Am I that old?
Yeah, am I that old too?
Hey man, don't forget Mangino stopped in Ames for a little bit, and I wanted to hate my life during that time frame.
I mean, that's what this Orange Bowl shirt's about. Is 2007, that 2007 season.
Yikes.
Yeah. Oh man. Okay. Well, so the offense has a lot of potential. I think it's fair to say, Austin. We'll get into it bit by bit, but let's start with Jalen Daniels. When Jalen Daniels is healthy, right? Where do you think he ranks among Big 12 quarterbacks going into 2025 when he's healthy? Because this is a very stacked conference for quarterbacks this year. A lot of elite guys. Where do you think he ranks?
When he's playing at his absolute best, and when he and the offensive coordinator are on the same page, I mean, I actually think he is the best quarterback in the Big 12. Now, I'm not saying he is, but I'm saying when he's playing at his absolute best, when he's, making all these big time throws and completing them and, and building his confidence up, he plays like the best quarterback in the Big 12. Now, I think Sawyer Robertson is the best quarterback in the Big 12 going into this season. I really like the guy.
Sam Levitt,
I
eat
mean,
your heart out, man.
what's that? Oh
I
yeah,
said
I know.
Sam
He
Levitt, eat your heart
ate
out.
my heart out. I mean, that's got nothing to do with that. I actually think he's a good quarterback, and I actually went to school with him too, but he doesn't remember me. That was back in 5th grade. But but anyways, I think Jalen's a top 5 quarterback in the Big 12 right now. That's just my personal opinion. I know people are probably putting him at like 7 or 8 or whatever, and that's just based on stats and things like that. That's totally fine. But I think with Z and Lubick now calling the plays, I think he's going to play a lot better. And he went to the Peyton Manning Passing Academy not too long ago and learned a lot. I mean, his confidence, I think, is on a different level compared to maybe where it was a year ago, especially for the fact that he hadn't played a game of football in almost a year going into that first game of the season last year. So I think he's in a much better place mentally. I would think so. And he's brought his wide receivers out to California back home to train with him and things like that. So, he's trying to get, on the same page with the receivers right away. So that way, once you go into fall camp, things are going smoothly and there's no, bumps and bruises, even though there will be, but less bumps and bruises along the way. So Jalen's a top 5 quarterback. When he's playing at his absolute best, and I'll argue that he is the best quarterback. I mean, people forget that he was a Heisman candidate in 2022. I get it. That was like 3 years ago, 4 years, however long ago it was. But I mean, when he's healthy and playing at his absolute best and he's on the same page with the offensive coordinator and he's making throws, if he's making, a 2-yard check down, every single time, maybe for the first couple of throws, I mean, he'll make a big time play down the field and he'll complete a deep pass, for a long touchdown or whatever. I mean, like, it's just about building his confidence up, I think is the key. And if he's got that confidence, he is really one of the best quarterbacks in the country, and I think one of the best in the Big 12.
Well, you heard it here first, folks. One of the best quarterbacks in the country, leading Kansas into this season. He's going to have 3 offensive linemen back out of his 5. You are having to replace Devin Neal, but there are options there. And you mentioned that tight end room. Is there anything about this offense, though, that's even giving you pause, or are you just hyped out of your mind for the type of production that these guys can have?
I don't know if I'd say I'm like hyped out of my mind, but I am excited about the potential that we have offensively. Losing Devin Neal, obviously biggest loss on offense, but you got Daniel Highshaw, a guy that's been sitting behind Devin Neal for a very long time, and when he is called, he's special. He's a great player, and he's dealt with some injuries along the way, so it hasn't been an easy road for him. So I think Daniel Highshaw is going to have a really, really big year, and it's not going to be similar to what Devin Neal did, maybe last year and years before. But I think he's going to be very productive. You also got LaShawn Williams from Iowa, who I think will probably be running back number 2 in that running back room. So I think having both Highshaw and Williams, I think they'll provide some stability in the running game. And, we've got a great offensive line. I think, obviously, 3 guys coming back too, you got to replace. But as long as the offensive line does their job, I think, we'll see a lot of production in the running game. And, of course, Jalen runs the ball as well. But on the offensive line, Bryce Foster, that's our best guy up front. I mean, he's our center, but, he's coming off of a knee surgery. I believe he had to have like a cleanup surgery, and he missed Big 12 media days, but he's now practicing, so that's a good sign. So I mean, as long as we can figure out what's going to happen up front, I think we're going to be fine. We've got a really good O-line coach in Daryl Paulsa, and I think they'll figure it out, and those guys will do a great job. Now, the wide receivers, losing Q-Skin, Lawrence Arnold, Luke Grimm, all those guys are now gone. So Lance Leipold went into the transfer portal and got some receivers. You got Bryson Canty from Columbia, Emmanuel Henderson from Alabama, who I will talk more about in a second, and then I got another guy from Ball State and a few others, all very exciting in my opinion, who I think haven't really seen the field a whole lot in their previous stops, but when they have gone on the field, they've done some pretty awesome things. I mean, Emmanuel Henderson, I've been told, he's probably the fastest player, or maybe more faster than Jason Bean. And Jason Bean ran, I think, like 23, 24 miles an hour in a game at one point. I could be wrong. But every offseason, they have like a little speed test or whatever. And if you run like a certain miles per hour, during like 100-yard dash or whatever, they'll give you like a little certificate or whatever, and you always see it on social media. Some of the players will get those, little awards, and they'll show it off for everybody. But Emmanuel Henderson, I mean, listen, we'll watch out for that guy. He is. I've seen him kind of run around a little bit, but I mean, yeah, he's gonna be very productive along with all the other guys that we got.
All right. Well, Kansas also leaned very heavily on the portal defensively. A lot of new faces on defense, especially in the front seven. What can we expect from Kansas defense?
Well, you got DK McDonald now taking over on the defensive side. Brian Borland retired at the end of last season. I feel like you're going to see a lot of the same stuff that you might have seen at Iowa State over the years. Especially with the type of defense. I don't know if they're going to run a 4-2-3 defense, but that would be my assumption. But I think it'll be a lot similar to what Brian Borland was already doing. But DK, worked with Matt Campbell at Iowa State, and he worked with the Philadelphia Eagles. A lot of experience under his belt. I really like him being promoted to defensive coordinator. And you mentioned all the players that we got in the transfer portal. I mean, they're pretty much all over the place. Up front, in the linebacker group, in the secondary. I mean, there's new faces all around, and a lot of those guys are also players who have sat behind. Like guys like Kobe Bryant or Mello Dotson, or you name it. I mean, there's been some pretty good, solid defensive players for Kansas in the past couple of years. But I mean, the guys that have been sitting behind them, who are now gone in the NFL, are going to be stepping in, especially in that secondary. So it'll be interesting to see how the defense kind of meshes together. And I feel like you might see some, like I said, some of the stuff that you've probably seen over the years with Iowa State, because Iowa State's known for their good defense, and I hope that carries on over to us.
Brownie, I mean, that's a perfect segue for you. You got any thoughts on the new defensive hire?
About 1.5 million. I think that like the primary thing that's going to be like the most concerning is even if they bring over the blueprint that Iowa State laid, especially that 3-3-5 stack, it
3-3-5.
Yeah, it really relies heavily on each individual's like instant decision making skills. And we kind of saw that start to trail off towards the end of the season for Iowa State, just because we had so many of our veteran linebackers injured, and then our safeties got injured, that when you throw in new pieces to the puzzle, the decision making doesn't always click, especially with the younger crowd and the younger generation. Now, I think that Kansas did really well by getting a couple of really good linebackers and D linemen. So I really think that their front, like if you want to call it a front seven into that 4-2-5, or I guess technically it'd be like a 4-2-4? Well, 4-2-5. I can't math today. But like if they're going to go with a 4-down lineman system, which I think is what actually Iowa State is starting to trend more towards, especially in the pass heavy league, you don't then have to blitz as many linebackers. You get a little bit more pressure. The primary concern that I have for Kansas is the secondary, because I think when I was originally looking at the roster, your safeties are pretty good. Like you still have a couple seniors, you have a few juniors, But then you look at the rest of the secondary list, and it's all freshmen and sophomores.
Yeah.
And it's realistically, and I mean, you can't blame Kansas. You had like probably the best dynamic duo corners in the Big 12 last year.
And they got undrafted.
Yeah.
They went undrafted. I don't know how.
I don't know either, but it's insane because you have those two that have been dominating KU defense for arguably the past 3 to 4 years, right? And nobody wants to be backups to that. So you have to recruit underclassmen, right? And hope that they learned. But when you start looking through that roster, it's freshmen and sophomores. And realistically, are the freshmen and sophomores, if they were able to get into classes early, like the winter classes, did they get into spring ball and learn enough in spring ball? Or is it going to be an oh shit moment where you're going to have to tweak on the fly throughout the entire season and know that your corners are going to be the weak spot? And are you going to play more zone? Because I fear that a lot of Big 12 offenses, with it being a pass-heavy league now, with all of these great quarterbacks, is they're going to potentially eat alive. Iowa State has new wide receivers, but I mean, Sawyer Robertson's bringing back almost everybody. TCU is bringing back almost everybody. Arizona State is almost bringing back everybody. I mean, you have all of these teams that have that offense with those wide receivers. KU's defense is going to be like the asterisk on how good this season's going to be. And I think that's how a lot of Kansas fans feel is, can we keep our quarterback healthy?
Yeah.
And then defense. And I think that's the primary two concerns. But yeah, I totally agree. I think Kansas's offense now with the hires, I think it's going to be good. It's just going to be able to find the right scheme, make the adjustments in the season. Can your O-line make sure that Jalen Daniels isn't looking up at the stars about every other drop back? And then can Kansas learn and play off of like DK McDaniel and like learn that type of defense that, I don't want to say put Iowa State on the map, but it at least put the 335 stack on the map, right? So, I mean, that's what my primary concern is, that defensive secondary is just so freaking young.
Yeah. Well, we're going to talk more about all of these transfers, and we're going to get into the schedule. But first, a quick word from the man, Mark.
You can make a difference here at the Voice of College Football. Use the Amazon link. Financially contribute to the Voice of College Football without spending a penny. Same shopping experience. It's easy. Go to any video on any channel. Go to the description section and grab the link right next to the capital letters that say Amazon. Use that link, and Amazon will instantaneously convert to your account, settings, history, everything intact, just like whatever link you use right now. No difference. Pay no attention to the product that you see right there. Just go search what you want. Don't forget the Amazon link. Thank you for your support. Sincerely, the Voice of College Football.
Now, Austin, I wanted to get into this with you when we're talking about transfers. I've been asking this of almost everybody that I've had on the show. But, we've got such a sea change here this season. You grew up a Texas Tech fan, so I know you got your eyes on Lubbock to some extent. And everybody has seen, you got to be living under a rock not to have seen the $50 million roster that Cody Campbell and co have built down there in the transfer portal. And Kansas obviously has been leaning very hard on the transfer portal going into the season. Is that a recipe for success, or should NIL dollars be used to retain talent and develop talent, as we're seeing at like TCU or at Baylor, right? Other places like this, that more old school mentality. What do you think is the correct way to approach this NIL and transfer portal?
Yeah, I definitely think there needs to be a salary cap, just like what we see in the NFL. I think some people out there might disagree with me on that, but I think a salary cap would at least, I don't want to say like it would, kind of make everybody even per se, but I do think, maybe like there's got to be like a limit on like how much you spend in terms of NIL. I mean, what Texas Tech's doing right now, listen, they've been wanting to do that for a very long time because it is hard to recruit guys to come to Lubbock and go play football there. It really is. I
Don't
mean,
tell Texas Tech fans that.
I lived there for
Southwest
15
Conference,
years.
baby.
They just got to deal with that. I mean, listen, Lubbock is not a vacation destination, okay? I mean, like now that like it's a thing where you can pay players to come play for you and stuff like that. I mean, shoot, yeah, Texas Tech, they've got the money right now for sure. And this is what they've been waiting for a very long time, I think, because I feel like for the longest time, just growing up around Texas Tech and their football team and stuff, I really think that they were just waiting for the opportunity to pay their players, or have the opportunity to pay players to come play for them, in the whole recruiting process. I mean, that's why you're seeing them getting all these 5 stars. I mean, it's absolutely absurd. But I will say I do think there needs to be a little bit more control when it comes to NIL, and I do think having some money, specifically for NIL when it comes to funding, for players and stuff like that, I think that's smart.
Well, let me slightly rephrase the question. Do you think specifically, like when you look at this year with Texas Tech,
Yeah.
bringing in all of these hired mercenaries, for lack of a better word, right, out of the
Mhm.
transfer portal, like, yes, they're also buying recruits right now, like that 5-star offensive tackle, for example. That's something different. I'm saying for this season, they've like basically positioned themselves in a win now season, right, where they brought in all these guys from all over the country, right? Is that going to yield success? All these disparate pieces that you've just, are they bought in? Are they going to be able to learn the system, mesh fast enough with all these other guys? Do you think it's going to work?
I mean, it just depends. I mean, like obviously, when it comes to recruiting players, you want guys that fit your system well and everything. But um, I mean, I just think I don't know. Like I've seen this happen before with Tech. They get hyped up and they have all these good players coming in and oh my God, they might go 9-3, 10-2, and go to the Big 12 championship game. I've seen that from time and time and time, and what ends up happening? They go 5-7, 6-6, 7-5. I mean, whatever it might be. I mean, shoot, they haven't won more than 9 games since Mike Leach's final year at Texas Tech. I mean, it's been that long. They almost got it, but they finished 8-4 and lost
Eight
to
and
the
four, baby.
Liberty
8 and
Bowl.
4.
So like they haven't won more than 9 games since 2009. I mean that's a long time. And Kansas, they had won 9 games, 2 years ago. So I mean,
I mean, hell,
like
we saw an Iowa State 10-win season before they hit 9 wins again.
Yeah.
exactly.
That's
So
terrible.
I mean, like Texas Tech's got to prove it this season. Am I confident that because they spent all this money, on their players and things like that, and that's gonna work out? I mean, I feel like it's going to be the same story that I keep seeing all the time with Tech during the offseason, getting all this hype and then just being one of the most disappointing teams in the Big 12 or really in the country. But I mean, I would think so, just because of how much money you're giving to these players to come play for you. But at the same time, like, I don't know, money's not always the answer.
Yeah. I really don't think it's a recipe for long-term success, but their schedule is
No.
so stupid easy. I mean, their schedule is so easy.
Yeah.
Let's look at y'all's schedule, though. Let's look at Kansas. Big picture thoughts here, Austin. What stands out to you about this schedule? What games give you pause? I'll move you into the middle there.
What
We're all
school
excited
is
about Missouri.
Wagner?
We're all going to be rooting for you against Missouri. We know that.
Oh,
Give me
yeah.
some thoughts.
Well, so we start our season, a week earlier than most people do. We play week 0 against Fresno State at home. We have 7 home games this season, so 7 games. I mean, I can't remember the last time that Kansas had 7 home games before. So, not only that,
And
but
that
they start the
Raptor
season.
enclosure, right? That
Yeah.
new Raptor enclosure
So,
you got.
So, anyways, yeah, Kansas, they return home to the booth after playing in Arrowhead Stadium and Children's Mercy Park for a year. So, obviously, there's a lot of excitement about that. Fresno State, I wouldn't sleep on the Bulldogs. I mean, I know they
It's
didn't
not a
have a
gimme.
great year last year, but I feel like they're always a solid football team to play against. So, I don't think they need to be taken lightly. Much like maybe UNLV or Illinois, like can't take those teams lightly. And we unfortunately did that last last year, and look what happened. So Fresno State, week 0. Was it a 5:30 kickoff? I mean, hopefully it won't be too hot outside, but I think it will be. And then Friday night game next week against Wagner. That should be an easy game. I think all of the backups should play in that, so not really concerned about that game. And then obviously Missouri. I'm so excited that this rivalry is back for football. I mean, you've seen it with basketball over the past couple of years, and how intense it's gone, and how it's been. I mean, to bring the football rivalry back, I mean, is special, and I think the whole college football world has been waiting for it. Obviously it's not going to be in Arrowhead; it's going to be, both home and home. So we get Missouri in Columbia, and then they come to Lawrence next year, I believe. I just don't know when. I think that would probably be like week 3 of next year. I have no idea. So at Missouri, listen, I think Kansas has a shot to win that game, but I think Missouri is going to be very good this season. And as much as that, really hurts for me to say as a Kansas guy, I think Missouri is going to have a solid team, but that doesn't mean Kansas doesn't have a chance at all to pull off potentially an upset. So I think that would be really special, and
We'd love
I
to
think
see
it'd be
it.
very funny. And I don't think Missouri
Everybody
fans would
would
be
love
able to
to see
live
it.
that one down if we walked into Columbia after not playing against them since 2010 or whatever year it was. Come in there and beat them. They wouldn't be able to live it down. It would honestly ruin their season. I saw a Missouri account on Twitter saying, "Oh, would you go 11-1 and win the national championship with a loss to Kansas?" And in my mind, I'm like, well, losing to Kansas, I mean, that's like you can't get over that. No matter what you do, you can't get over a loss to Kansas. I mean, so anyways, yeah, at Missouri, that's going to be a tough game. I unfortunately think we might lose that game, but next year, if I think we'll have a better chance against the Tigers. And then back-to-back home games against West Virginia and Cincinnati. Obviously they might be solid opponents. West Virginia, I don't think they're going to be that great this year, but you never know. I mean, we thought certain teams last year, much like maybe Arizona State. I mean, we all thought Arizona State was going to be terrible, and they won the Big 12 last year. They were picked last. They were picked last, and then the coaches poll, or in the preseason poll, not the coaches poll, the preseason poll, and all the coaches were like, "All right, let's get rid of the preseason poll because Arizona State was picked dead last, and they won the conference. We're not going to do that again." So, anyways, back to the schedule. So West Virginia, Cincinnati. I think those are two, sneaky games. I think KU needs to be on their toes for that. One thing that stands out as well, KU has 3 bye weeks. They have 3 bye weeks. So after Missouri, after Texas Tech, and after Arizona. So that's when KU will have those 3 bye weeks. Back-to-back away games against UCF and Texas Tech. I think KU will probably get the win over there in Orlando. Playing at Tech, KU's only won in Lubbock once. That was all the way back in 2001. I mean, that was literally a couple of weeks after I was born when that happened.
Ooh, Lord.
But I think
way to date yourself on that one.
Yeah. But I think Kansas got a good shot against Texas Tech. It'll be on Tech's homecoming, and if you remember what happened last year on Tech's homecoming, they played against 2-4 Baylor, and they just annihilated them. So you never know. Is that homecoming curse still real for Texas Tech? Yeah, I guess we'll see. And then Kansas State. Hey, listen.
Is this the year? Is this the year?
Is this the year?
Listen to me. We've talked about this matchup for the past 2 years, and you and I have both picked Kansas, right? You picked Kansas in 2023, and you picked them in 2024. And,
did.
It's like, this is going to be the year. I sound like a freaking Dallas Cowboys fan, when it comes to playing against Kansas State. This is our year. This is our year. And it just doesn't happen for whatever BS reason that might be. So
we them Jayhawks.
They get them at home this year. They are coming off of a bye. Now, let me say something. Coming out of the last 4 bye weeks, we've beaten Oklahoma State to become bowl eligible for the first time since 2008, and then in 2022. And then in 2023, we had a bye week right before Oklahoma, and we beat Oklahoma. And then last year, we had 2 bye weeks. It was after... I want to say it was after Arizona State. We played Houston, beat Houston, and then we had a bye week after Kansas State to prepare for Iowa State, and they beat Iowa State. So my point here, if that continues, if they do end up beating West Virginia, if the streak continues, it's going to be the year. I actually do think it's going to be the year. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think Kansas State will be a very good football team this year. I think they'll be one of the top teams in the conference. Avery Johnson going to be a dog, and they've got some guys on offense that'll definitely contribute in a big way and make some plays throughout the season. But I mean, this is Kansas State's trap game. In terms of their schedule. Other than Army, they get Army. I think week 3. I think week 2 technically. I mean, don't sleep on Army in that game. But circling back to this, I want to say it's their year, but all of a sudden I'm going to be wrong, and something's going to happen, and Kansas
Eventually,
State's
we're going to be right, Austin. Eventually, it's going to happen.
Eventually, we're going to be
Well,
right.
I'm going to always vote for Kansas in that game. So
Yeah, of course.
eventually, I'm going to be able to win my money back, right?
That's right. So yeah, Kansas State, and then Oklahoma State. That's going to be KU's homecoming. So November 1st, they get Oklahoma State. I don't know how good Oklahoma State's going to be. They might be a little bit better than last year, but I mean they've got a quarterback problem once again, and I don't know.
Counting on it.
Mm-hmm. But I think KU should win that game, and then they play at Arizona, which that'll be an interesting game because I don't think Arizona is going to be that good either unless they surprise all of us and pull an Arizona State somehow. Iowa State, second to last game of the season. That's also a game coming off of a bye. I have to admit, as much as I want to pick Kansas to win that game, I think Iowa State's going to finally get KU. I mean, it's I believe that's their senior day. So, I mean, if we're playing Iowa State on their senior day, I don't know. I don't feel great about it. But
Iowa
I do
State's
think
also coming off a bye that week too.
Gotcha. So Iowa State will be more than prepared, and I think they'll be a little bit more juiced. So, I mean, I don't expect them to beat Iowa State this season, but I mean, hey, for the past 3 seasons, they've done well against them. And then you close out the season on Senior Day against Utah for an 11 a.m. kick, which I don't really like, but whatever. Utah's interesting. Utah. You got what's his name? Dampier?
Devin Dampier, yeah.
Devin Dampier. Okay, I didn't want to get his first name wrong. Out of New Mexico. I thought he was actually decent for the Lobos. I actually paid attention to him a little bit because I heard a little bit about him and how underrated he is. I was like, okay, I just want to watch some film on this guy. And he's actually not that bad. So I think Utah will have a bounce back year. But since this game is being played on Senior Day, and it's a home game and all that, I think Kansas will beat Utah. But, I mean, listen, I don't want to say the phrase favorable schedule because all of last season I said, oh my gosh, we have such a favorable schedule. I think KU is going to go 10-2, and we started off 1-5. So I'm trying to keep my mouth as shut as I can when it comes to saying favorable schedule because, I mean, this is a favorable schedule, but I can't say that. Yeah. I can't say, I'm not allowed to say that because I'm gonna make the football gods angry, and then we're gonna start 1-5 all over again. So
yeah.
Well, if you start off 1-5 again, you might as well just start rooting for basketball season, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's another. Speaking of not being able to cheat anymore, and now things have gotten harder.
Ayo.
Hey, everybody was paying their players before it was legal. Okay.
Yeah.
Sure, Adidas school, sure.
Well, hey, but okay, back to football. I feel like 7 wins is a very manageable expectation. Am I wrong in saying that, Austin?
No, not at all. I think 7 wins is definitely manageable. I don't think they'll go under. I don't think their ceiling is undefeated, but I do think there is a chance if everything all goes well, offensively, defensively, even special teams. I think they can win 10 to 11 games. But realistically speaking, I think 7-5 would probably be an appropriate prediction for this upcoming season, as long as they make it back to a bowl game. Because I know somebody to start said 6-6. I mean, as long as KU makes it back to a bowl game, I don't really care what their final record ends up being. But I do think that they need to go back to a bowl game because Jalen, he's only played in one bowl game for KU, and it was in the Liberty Bowl, and he was this close to pulling off one of the greatest comebacks in college football history, I think, and not as good as the one in the Alamo Bowl against Oregon, but
You better remember that, yeah.
but yeah, I need to see Jalen play in a bowl game this year and lead him to victory. That'd be a great way for him to kind of ride out of Lawrence. Since
Well, hopefully it's not
this
the
is last
Liberty
year of
Bowl.
eligibility.
Yeah. Well, okay, Austin, I got one last question for you, and then you can go back inside. Who is your prediction for Arlington? Who are going to be the two teams playing for the Big 12 championship when this is all said and done?
Okay. Well, you're gonna hate my answer. I'm sorry. I think Baylor's gonna go back to Arlington. I'm sorry. And then, man, because I was gonna say BYU, but now that their quarterback's gone and everything, like I can't pick BYU, and I don't know if they're gonna be that good this upcoming season. So I was just gonna say Baylor. I mean, if Texas Tech, if they live up to the hype, finally, I could see Texas Tech in there. But
A butt bowl
Oh my God, a
championship?
butt bowl championship game?
but I'm gonna actually say Baylor and Kansas State.
Okay, I could see that.
No,
I could see
Arizona
that.
State? You think Arizona State's going to
I
fumble?
think Arizona State's gonna barely miss out. I think they're gonna lose a couple of games that they shouldn't. I think they're still gonna be good though.
Yeah.
You think Levitt's going to hit the sophomore slump?
Hey, I mean, you never know.
I mean,
I don't
it
think
does
he's a
happen.
bad quarterback, but I do think people are ranking him way too high.
You know
And, like,
who's
I
a
get
bad
it.
quarterback? Avery Johnson. Want to know why? Because he's a running back.
Hey-o!
Boom!
No,
Roasted.
there it is.
Still
That-
got it in there.
So I'm just gonna say for right now, Baylor and Kansas State for the Big 12 championship. I think
Okay, Baylor, Kansas
that'll be my
State. So
answer.
you are on record, sir. I keep saying it every week. TCU Baylor Big 12 championship. The hatred in that building will feed families. It's going to be cinema.
I'd
Rematch.
love to see TCU back in
Something
the
we should have had in 2014. A rematch and a Big 12 championship between TCU
Yeah, I
and Baylor.
know.
And it was sponsored by the WWE, so the coaches could have a cage match.
There you go. There you go. And Dave Aranda will start throwing little people in the cage. It'll be crazy.
Oh, dude, Aranda versus Sonny, like that would also feed families. I would legitimately
I don't think
go,
either of them could get after it in a cage match.
I
They're
don't
so
even care. I
mild-mannered.
would literally come down to Arlington for popcorn just to see that happen.
I would want to pinch hit Gary Patterson for a cage match for sure. He would rip somebody's throat out. Okay, so Austin and Brownie, thank you so much. Tell the people where they can find you.
You guys can follow me on Twitter at Austin C. Eckert, just right below my my little name tag here. Go ahead and follow me on there. Also, I have a YouTube channel as well. It's also named Austin C. Eckert. So
Hey,
if you want
There
to
it is.
subscribe to me, I don't have a whole lot of videos posted right now, but I do have a lot of like broadcasting stuff that I posted on there. So if you want to go watch that, that's my YouTube handle as well.
get on the ground floor. Brownie, where can they find you, Ben?
Same place, different day. Follow me at WRNL Brownie. It's the exact same on both Twitter and Blue Sky. Or follow our main social media channel at Wide Right Natty Light. You can also start seeing some of my material come football season for players to watch against Iowa State and roll clones.
You've seen all the stuff on the screen. You see it every week at Big 12 Voice of College Football. Please, please, please subscribe. Help me grow this thing at Clint_Foster55 on Twitter, at the Voice of College Football on all your social medias. Follow my personal YouTube channel at Clint Foster Creations. And subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcasts as well. We got a great thing going on here. Let's help continue to make it a wonderful thing. So until next week, I love you. I hope your team wins. And go Big 12. We'll see you around.